Every time you think something's done, they're just getting started. They're playing with their food. They just cannot stop. They're just like, it's like kids in a candy store, except the candy is gore.
I have to go back to the Terrifier.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another I Popcorn for That review. I'm Chris.
I'm Nick.
And today we're talking about Terrifier 3. So this is the newest film from Damien Leone. It's obviously the third in the series, and I would say you definitely want to know what you're getting into before you go into this, so watch at least Terrifier 2, I would say. I think you could probably start with Terrifier 2 if you wanted to.
Yeah.
This is extremely not for everybody, and we're going to have a lot to tell you about it. What is the plot description for this movie?
It's a pretty thick one right here.
That's a thick-ass boy! Damn!
Is it?
Yeah, 5 years after surviving Art the Clown's Halloween massacre, Sienna and her brother are still struggling to rebuild their shattered lives. As the holiday season approaches, they try to embrace the Christmas spirit and leave the horrors of the past behind, but just when they think they're safe, Art returns, determined to turn their holiday cheer into a new nightmare. The festive season quickly unravels as Art unleashes his twisted brand of terror, proving that no holiday is safe.
So this is an extreme movie, and I think it's amped it up even from the second one, which was one of the craziest things I'd ever seen in the theater. So this is like I said before, not for everybody, and it starts out letting you know that with a bang.
Yeah.
I'm curious. So what did you think about? Have you seen the other two, or have you seen any of the previous ones?
Yeah,
okay.
I've seen them both.
So what do you think about the previous ones?
So I remember watching the first one and just hating it because there's so many times where the girl in the first one's like, you could have gotten away multiple times, or you could have double tapped this dude, and then she finally kills him, and then at the end they bring in the supernatural element and he comes back to life. And I hated that first one so much. Second one, I understand there's a supernatural element to it now, so now it's there, but I just hated how in the first one they throw it in at the very end of the movie.
The second one takes off with that idea, I think, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's for a certain type of person who just wants to watch something gruesome and gory, and sometimes that's what you want to see, I guess, but it is like the practical effects are really impressive.
I think the practical effects are insanely impressive, and I think you almost have to take this movie in parts, because, like, there's parts that to like. The first one has very little to like, but obviously the thing that translated and made people, there was this uprising, and you know, it was a crowd-funded second movie, and people really wanted to see more of Art the Clown. It's because of Art the Clown. It's because of David Thornton Howard. You know, this guy was like a professional mime. I don't know his full story, but he just puts so much life into that character and gives him so much personality, and he's so iconic now. It feels like he's in there with the greats already. Like there's just so much. That the iconography is like immaculate. Just the costume design is perfect, and he plays it like Mr. Bean or something. It's insane, you know? Like, I can't believe the type of humor that they're going for, mixed with the levels of depravity and cruelty, and it's just mean-spirited. I mean, and this one amps that up, too. Like, it's just so merciless and horrifying, and every time you think something's done, they're just getting started. They're playing with their food. They just cannot stop. They're just like, it's like kids in a candy store, except the candy is gore and horrifying nightmare fuel. You know, this is pushing the boundary, especially the most recent one is like pushing the boundary for the sake of pushing boundaries. Like, let's see what would happen if we did something you cannot do. And then they were like, what if we did it over and over and over and over again?
Right. And I feel like that's what this movie is going to suffer from, is like, okay, now they're just going to have to do something crazy, gory in the next, because there's going to be another one. And they're probably going to...
Absolutely.
There's probably going to be Terrifier 10 or something down the line.
And you know what? I'll be in theaters.
Yeah.
There's like two of me that went and saw this movie. There's one version of me that just, like, enjoyed the depravity and horrific nature of this, and I had fun with it. for the most part. These movies are overly long and bloated, and the plot meanders, and it doesn't really go anywhere, and the acting is uneven. Although I will say, in 2 and 3, Lauren Lavera is good.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think she's not like amazing, but I think she's worth being like in the Scream Queen category, a Final Girl category, or whatever. I think she does a good job of it and brings more to it than some, because some of these the acting performances in all these movies are pretty weak. Mm-hmm. I would say.
I mean, the best thing about them that people are going to see, like you said, is because Art the Clown. And they're just, what are they going to do?
Amazing.
Yeah.
What's he going to do next? And he always has, in 2 and 3 at least, I don't remember there being one, the first one, but in 2 and 3 he has kind of like a helper.
Yeah, in the first one I don't think he had one at all.
I don't think he had one, but in 2 it's like a little girl that kind of is wearing his, his kind of costume, and there was some gross out stuff there, but she's not the standout thing that you take away from that movie remembering. She made for some good gags, sight gags.
Yeah.
But in this most recent one, it's the character, and I don't remember the through line from the first one, but there's a character that's like her face is just absolutely destroyed, unrecognizable. You know, one eye socket's completely keeled over, and her teeth are all like she can't close her mouth and just deformed. And she is the like familiar, or whatever you want to call. She's like the possessed one in this that Art the Clown's working with, I guess.
Right.
And I think she was probably more memorable in this than the little girl was in the second one. Like she was a pretty good addition to the whole thing. And there is some creativity at play here with the gore and stuff like that. And there was some stuff that just really shocked me that you can kind of see things coming. And we should probably just go ahead and say.
Let's talk about some
of
it.
What do you want to talk about first?
Oh man, I don't know.
I mean, it starts with this like it's like almost like an homage to Cindy Lou Who in How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
He turned around fast and he saw a small Who, little Cindy Lou who was no more than 2.
Yeah, kind of.
The little girl going down the stairs and she thinks she sees Santa, and then it's him.
Then he just axe murders the entire family, including the child.
He starts with the little brother.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, this is like the first 5 minutes of the movie. They start with the little brother with the axe, and then it's the parents, and that goes on an unbelievable amount of time with the husband before the wife notices.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, girl, wake up. There was like a whole full-blown hatchet going down over and over again. But man, so that's the line they cross. You know, among others, but that's the line they cross, is they kill kids. But that's not the only.
I mean, they never ever do it on screen though. Is the thing, because you can't do it on screen.
But yeah, you can't really do it on screen. But they'll show
like
hear
body
that,
parts, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or they'll insinuate it, like with the little girl at the beginning. It's like, you know, she's in the cabinet and he opens the door and he does the characteristic. Mm-hmm. The other thing is Art becomes obsessed with freezing things with. What is that, like? Just like a
liquid nitrogen fire extinguisher type thing.
Yeah, some kind. But it freezes things over, and so he becomes obsessed with freezing things and then smashing them and seeing what. It's like they're just playing in the sandbox.
Yeah.
Of evil.
Yeah, I think one of the grossest things is when one of my favorite kills, I guess, is they've been in this house dormant for like 5 years or something, and these guys are going in to tear it down. And Art gets one of the guys and takes like a X-Acto knife and cuts him here, all the way back, and then just peels it down and pushes his fucking whole face down. Yeah.
I was in the theater. I couldn't. It was a lively crowd. Everybody knows what they're getting, and everybody was having fun with it. And that one, I was just like, but even I was surprised.
But while he's doing that, the demon girl is in the background with this long shard of mirror, using it as like a pleasure device, and it's just blood dripping out and stuff. Is noises, and is gross.
It is so extreme, man. Yeah. It's just like right out of the. I mean, that wasn't one of the early ones, but right out of the gate, this lets you know what you're in for.
Yeah, that was pretty early.
It's pretty early on. By the way, one of the other people in this who plays a big role is Santa Claus. You know?
Yeah.
Because he ends up, like you see in this, that he's wearing like the Santa Claus beard that he removed from an actual Santa Claus. And the guy who's playing Santa Claus, for anybody that ever watched Lost, was Dr. Arts, I think, on Lost. So if you ever watched Lost, he's been on a handful of things too, like everything Rob Zombie ever did. But I thought I recognized that guy.
Yeah, there are a couple of like recognizable people. Clint Howard, Ron Howard's brother.
Yeah, that was the other one. I was gonna say Clint Howard is the one that's like friends with Santa Claus, or he's at the bar with him or whatever. But the guy's always popping up in random things.
And then Tom Savini, who's like a notable Hollywood makeup effect artist and stuff.
And he's in a lot. He's in a lot of things too. Yeah.
Yeah, he was popped up in it.
How about that? How about the Santa Claus scene? Like the first Santa Claus scene where he comes wearing the Santa Claus costume and takes the place of Santa.
Yeah, it like freezes him. Oh, are you talking about like when he blows up the kids?
Yeah, dude.
Blows up an entire mall of little children.
Santa's handing out presents!
He just starts handing out toys for free. And by the way, he's the funniest in this one that I think he's ever been. Like there was more humor in the second one than the first, and this one I think he's the funniest. Although there are times where the things that are happening are so awful and horrifying that it's like at points I'm like, I can't really laugh through this one. Like, I get you're still doing the funny faces and everything. Maybe I'll laugh about it after, but you really like all these kids opening their teddy bears and toys and stuff and footballs, and they're all just bombs.
Bye.
Insanity.
Yeah, I mean,
there's so many other
kills.
things here, but it doesn't connect very well, I will say. To find the story in this, it's supposed to be, we pick up where we left off, like you said at the beginning, with Sienna Shaw character, and she's kind of like lost touch with her brother, and I guess he's starting college, which I thought he was like younger in the first one. He seems too young to be in college.
He seems like he was like 15 years old in this movie too, with his voice and everything. So it's
his
weird
voice,
seeing him in college.
Yeah.
Why would he come back here? Even if he was alive, which he isn't. Wouldn't you want to get as far away from here as possible, as far away from you?
But, so that's like kind of supposed to be a through line, and, he's obviously still after her, and if you remember from the second one, she's like this angel character that has this sword that's got powers that can actually kill him or harm him. But we know this is the third movie. There's going to be a fourth, so we know like there's no amount of swords that are going to prevent another sequel from happening.
Yeah.
So it's a little like the stakes feel a little, and you kind of get the idea that she's not going to die because she's working for the franchise.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that she's not going to die. But they did a couple of things at the end that are even more spoilery that did kind of make me, I was like surprised that they did, some characters were not safe that I thought were safe. There's a skull that's revealed, and what's the relation? Do you remember from the second one, like what's the deal with, is that just her like cousin or something that's the little girl that's kind of more prominent in this movie, is like, she's like bonding with this little girl.
Yeah, it's her cousin. Because she's with her aunt and her uncle.
She's with her aunt and her uncle, so that's her cousin. Was she in previous movies?
I don't think so. I mean, definitely not the first one. This storyline didn't become a thing until the second one, so.
Right, okay. So, but anyway, they're like the main ones that are bonding throughout this movie, and toward the end, the idea is that this demon or the devil or whatever is possessing this entity that is the person with the deformed face is going to come into Sienna Shaw, and so she's not that's why she's not being killed. She's just like bound up and having to fight out about all these horrible things. They're going to like ruin her life in front of her eyes, and they show her a skull with it's like skin still hanging off and stuff like that, and they tell her it's that little girl, and then they lie about that. It's not. It's actually her brother. And when they revealed that it's her brother, I was like,
honestly, I'm actually shocked.
I didn't actually see that one coming. That took me by surprise.
It's kind of weird that they didn't give him an on-screen death, but maybe it's not her brother and they were just saying it was, but I don't know.
They had the glasses though.
Yeah, that's true.
And then so the little girl who is, that they were lying about it being, ends up like, I'm not sure what happened there. Like she's like starts to get sucked into like a vortex of
to hell or something, I guess.
Hell or something like that. But she's holding on to the handle of the sword, and Sienna's holding on to the actual blade of it and cuts her hand. But I guess she was told by her father that the sword wouldn't cut her. It would never be able to hurt her. It would only hurt like the demon or whatever.
Right.
and so her hands just heal. But so now we know she's probably not dead. She's probably in whatever realm she's in with this sword that can help her survive or whatever. So she's gonna, I guess, be our protagonist for the fourth one, right?
I would say so, or it's gonna be her going down there to save her or something. Finding a way there, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
So there's two sides of me. There's the side that had fun with this, but thought it was very overly long.
Yeah.
And then there's the side of me that's like reviewing movies and trying to give a movie like a more, not objective, but more of a score. It's hard to rate this super high because
it's not a good movie necessarily.
It's not a great movie. It's just art is great.
Yeah, the clown's great and the practical effects are great. So I guess if we're judging it on that, it scores a little bit higher. But like overall, it's not a great movie. None of them are.
No, and I think. Do you think this is an improvement from the second one, or do you think this is right on par with each other, or
more of the same,
or more of the same?
Yeah.
I mean, it did amp it up to a certain degree.
A little bit, but it's all kind of like, you know, he spent 20 minutes in the first one peeling a girl's skin off and pouring salt on her and stuff. I mean, that was still...
Yeah, there are extended scenes like that in this one, but, like, I think there are some scenes in the second one that are probably going to, like, haunt me for longer and, like, be more memorable.
Yeah.
Because there's stuff in that second one that was just... You know, I don't know, unbelievable to see. But same here. I mean, there's just a lot more chainsaws and stuff here that just felt, you know, like there's homages to Psycho, like the shower killing scene in Psycho, because there's this whole storyline they try to do with the brother's roommate and his girlfriend's a true crime podcaster and blah blah blah.
You survived the most famous serial killer since Jack the Ripper. The 5-year anniversary is coming up. I think a lot of people would really like
to hear from you after all this time.
But they get killed in the shower with a chainsaw, and so there's a. But the way that he's killed was certainly.
Yeah, that was
memorable.
Brutal.
He just gets split in half with a chainsaw from the.
Yeah.
Starting with the worst place to start.
The taint.
The worst place to start. You know. Yeah, horrifying stuff to see in theaters, but that's what you go for. You're here for the carnage candy. You're here for the carnage candy, and it gives you that. I just think it really doesn't need to be these don't need to be over 2 hours long, please, Lord.
No.
Shorten the Hallmark movie that you're hiding
just
within this.
Give me the kills and cut out some of the fat of the plot that I'm not that interested in.
Because when they try to get serious and be a family and stuff, it like kind of takes all the energy out of the movie, and it's like you're supposed to like really care, and it's like an episode of Seventh Heaven or something.
Yeah, and it's like,
hey,
all right, get on
really
to the next like massacre or whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys are a lovely family, but.
So yeah, I don't know how to score this one. Really, do you?
It's like I need to give it 2 scores. Like I did enjoy it, and I kind of recommend it if you're in the camp that is gonna want to see this. You're gonna want to see it. You should see it.
Yeah, if you're a fan of like slashers and stuff, and you've seen the other ones, you're already gonna see this one anyways. But like, objectively, it's a bad movie.
I would not see these back to back because it's like that'd be over 4 hours of Terrifier movies.
Right. Yeah.
Like if you watch 2 and 3, like I know they were doing that in theaters. I don't think that's a good time. You're gonna be so sick of this stuff by the end of the 4 hours of carnage. No, don't do that to yourself. But yeah, I guess I'd give it like I gotta go a little high because I did have a lot that I did like, so I'll give it like a 7.
Okay.
That's probably generous, but I give it like a 7. Maybe a 6.5.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a 5.5 just because of the practical effects and the clown. Yeah.
I can think of other things that I gave like a 5 to that I like less than this. I would rather rewatch this than some of the stuff I gave like a 5 to. So.
Right.
I guess I'm going a little higher than I probably should, but I do get the reason this movie's got such a fan base. Art the Clown's great. He might be better in this than he's ever been. So I get it. I get why they're going to make a 4th and 5th and 7th and 9th and all that, and I'll show up to them. But this is pushing the boundaries for almost everybody, and this might actually push the boundaries of things that people that like the second one were like. If you like the second one and you're okay with all that, this one might be like, oh, and that is one too far, and I'm going to go ahead and leave now.
Yeah.
You know, that was our thoughts about it. You should go watch this and form your own opinion. Hopefully you didn't watch all of us talking about that. If you planned on watching it, we'll see you in the next one, guys. We appreciate you watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Comment down below what you thought about this movie, especially if you've seen all of them. Love to see your take on this whole franchise as a whole. See you guys.
See ya.